Hey, good morning. Ben here with Studio on the Lake. This is part 2 of the sawmill out at the woodlot, putting it up on the foundation. It's got another little short video before we get into the real meat of the things. There it is, setting out before we poured the pad, and there's sections of it sitting on the poured pad, waiting to be leveled and attached. This section right here is the longer portion of the track. It'll slide about 6 feet into the center of the head there. And that's pretty heavy-duty stuff. The other section of the track laying out there to the side. The track is 36 feet long. There's a carriage, I'm guessing probably, 10, 12 feet long. It's sitting upside down right now. This one's not going to get into a whole lot of the specifics. Just going to show you a few of the parts, and then when it's set in there's the power getting ready to. You can see that frazzled cord wrapped around there. That's going to need to be replaced. That goes over to the big motor on the side. And here's our 220 single phase power going in. There it is, just before. That's about where I think I want that one to set. The other track is going to come to it. A cable goes around the center of that portion there, hydraulic motor on the side, and you don't see them yet, but there's a couple of long pipes that are carrying the hydraulic back to the other. Continuous loop cable attached to the carriage, which is rides on wheels on that track. Again, carriage on the right, sitting upside down. There's various parts and pieces. Take note of that funky looking thing on the other side there. I'm going to show it here in just a second. This contraption right here with the little trip lever. It's a micro motor, and it goes to a bell that the previous owner set up, so it's on the same level as the saw blade. If you're getting ready to cut into one of your hold downs or something, the bell sounds. In the interest of trying to saw into those and ruining a few blades, I've disabled that. There's the end. Carriage stops. And relatively set up, not attached. I haven't bolted anything down into the concrete, but there's a track 36 foot. We'll saw an 18-foot log, and I suspect you can get another 4 to 6 feet if you front load the log on that, because since the head does not travel down the track and the carriage travels through, however you set the log on that carriage gives you your sawability. Here's a pulley that rides up on that track. I noticed that in all the movement I broke that one on the right, so you'll see a video in the future of me milling out some new of those. I'll put them on the metal lathe and build some new ones. There's that bell. Was run by a rather crude battery charger. I took that out of the thing. 2 levers there to control it. One clicks and one slides up and down. One clicks forward and reverse. I'm assuming that's the track. That's how I'm going to initially start it. I may end up switching them. And then this one has a continuous feed, and that's I'm going to assume that's the head for adjustment up and down. I don't have the scales laid out for the head. That's a Leeson 2 horsepower, 220 single phase, running the hydraulic pump. You can see that there's been hydraulic fluid in the tank for a while. That'll all get replaced. Here's that really nice wire going over to a 7.5 horsepower marathon motor. And the controls thus far, kind of happy with all of those. Here's that marathon 7.5 horse, single phase, 220. We'll be replacing the belts on that for sure. All of this travels up and down on the carriage head on the hydraulics. There's the 2 pipes going down to run the hydraulics on the carriage drive. Rather ingeniously thought out, this whole thing. Coming around, you see a contraption sitting there. Pretty heavy duty. It's quite heavy. It's got a 2 horsepower ball door motor on it, and it's the debarker. Rides on a couple of brackets in there and goes ahead of the blade to take the bark off. Whoever built this put about 5 saw blades together and welded them, put them on the end of a drive shaft with the all the kit components there. So that'll get mounted up there for debarking. It has its own separate switch. And a water tank goes up on top. Missing a couple springs to hold things in there. Again, there's that alarm. This does not have a, you have to manually adjust the guide in and out. I'll switch that over to a stepper motor here at some point, because I don't want to manually be adjusting that each time I get a different width on a log. I think this will take about 42 inches left and right, and substantially more than that up towards the top. That's the trip lever once again. It's where the 2 track pieces go together. So the next video will be a little bit more detailed, as I'm starting to flush out and level and get the thing up and running. There it is, black and white. Subscribe, like, comment by all means, and thanks again. This is Ben for Studio on the Lake. Look forward to doing the rest of the restoration on this thing.